So how did I lose 80 pounds using the keto diet? Well, stick around and I'll tell you everything you need to know about what I did to lose all that weight.
Cool. Later, but I think you guys got us in there. Let's go.
All right, to start things off, big disclaimer, I am not a dietitian. I'm not a nutritionist. I am not a doctor. That is for sure. But a few years ago, I did kind of stumble upon the keto diet. This was not to be that guy who's like, I found it before everybody else did, but I did more or less kind of stumble onto it. Somebody I know at the time was training to be a personal trainer, dietitian, nutritionist. That was their world, and they had kind of found out about it and wanted to do a little bit more research, I guess, on it, and basically said, "Hey, this might be good for you." So I kind of said, "Yep," and that's where my keto journey started. And that would have been, I guess, about 4 years ago now. And ever since, the keto diet has kind of been my go-to whenever I want to lose weight or whenever I need to diet, and it's done me really well over those years. So what is the keto diet? Well, essentially, it is burning fat for energy as opposed to burning sugar or carbohydrates. What your entire goal is to reduce the amount of carbs that you have in your body to a very, very small amount. Now, that amount is different for everybody, depending on a lot of different factors. But for me, at least, I try to keep all my carbs below 20 carbs a day. If I'm doing keto for a while, I can kind of stretch that up to 50 and sometimes, but for the most part, I try to keep it down in the 20 carbs range. And what this does is it essentially makes your body switch over from burning carbs, because you don't really have any in your system, to burning fats. And what it needs to do that is ketones. So in the same way that insulin helps you utilize sugar for energy, ketones helps you burn fat for energy. Now, there's a lot more information about this. If you are interested in this diet, there's way more science. There's a lot more studies out now that it has become a lot bigger. But it is probably one of the biggest diet fads, if you will, of the last, let's say, 10 years, kind of based off of the Atkins diet, which was a low-carb diet. This is an almost no-carb diet. So what do I eat on a regular basis? Well, in all honesty, I pair keto with something called intermittent fasting, which is essentially bringing my eating window down to a limited period of time. This can be 8 hours, 6 hours, 4 hours, kind of depends, but essentially you're only going to be eating during a short window of time. And intermittent fasting, I can do a whole other video on this, but it essentially kind of makes sure that you don't overeat, which is nice. And believe it or not, by not having food in your system for an extended period of time is kind of nice. You're not digesting, you don't have that heavy bloated feeling, and it also helps, burn some of that fat. But on a day-to-day basis, what I normally eat is a lot of meats, cheeses, tons and tons of vegetables, good fats like good quality coconut oil, good quality butters, and then some supplementation and drink mix as well in there. So essentially, it's a lot of things like chicken thighs with lots of broccoli and some good butter with good salt. Ribs is kind of my favorite one. If you want a cool rib recipe, I just posted one the other day, where it's definitely a very keto-friendly rib recipe. Things along those lines. Beef, always good grass-fed steak, if you can get your hands on it. The idea being that you're not going to be spending money on junk food or takeout, so you can spend money on these higher quality ingredients because you are going to be eating kind of a limited amount. Now, the amount of fats that you need to eat in a day it's actually very difficult to obtain. It's a lot of fat, and it's a lot more than what you think you would need. So that is where supplementation comes in. So with supplementation, there's a couple of different routes that you can go down. One of them is going to be actually adding fats into your diet. So in this case, this is a Mct powder that I like to use by Nutivia. Essentially, it allows me to get my fat content up. This stuff mixes really well into drinks. You can mix it into salad dressings and things like that. But honestly, I would add this right in with another supplement that I also take in kind of a morning shake juice kind of thing. That other supplement that I take is this. This is Allmax Keto Cuts. And what Keto Cuts is great for is it adds beta hydroxybutyrate or BHB into your system, which helps your body kind of create ketones more easily. There's a lot more to it than that. It's a massive oversimplification, but that is essentially what this is here to do. So combining these two gives me that little bit of a kick by getting ketones kind of rolling in the morning, and it gives me all the fats that I need to supplement those ketones and give me that energy throughout the day. Along with that, now this isn't so much of a supplementation, but this is a drink mix. This is made by SlimFast. This is their keto drink mix. You can definitely find other keto protein powders and other drink mixes. This is one that I like because I like the flavor of it. I like the convenience of it. It's $20. Realistically, if you take this every day, it's going to last you about 10 days. So yes, that is $60 a month. But once again, if you go and eat out or you're eating crappy food, you'd be surprised how quickly you'd go through $60. The other thing that you can look at is stuff like this. These are fat bombs, another way to get fat into your diet without having to, break it. I'm a massive fan of chocolate and I really like sweet things. So this diet can be very difficult for me at times, but essentially this allows me to kind of get that sweet tooth in there while also increasing my fat. I got to keep my macros in balance. When you hear macros, it kind of refers to fat, protein, and carbohydrates. There's there's a lot to go, and this is a massive oversimplification. So if there is something that you want me to clarify more or talk about more on any of these products, let me know. Leave a comment down in the comment section, and I will do my best to get to it. So how do you know you're in ketosis? Well, there is a couple of ways. Once you have done this diet for a little while, you'll just kind of feel it. You'll know it. The other thing that might happen is you'll actually secrete a bit of a smell. It's kind of like almost like an alcohol-y smell, and that is the actual ketones leaving your body, usually in sweat. So I do find that if I go to the gym with this, that I will get that kind of ketone smell. Another way to check very simply is with ketone test strips. Now, what this does is you pee on it. And when you pee on it, you utilize this chart here to reference the amount of excess ketones in your urine. Now, this is not necessarily the best method. It is the easiest and the cheapest method, and it will let you know if you're in ketosis or not. It will not give you a great indication of what level of ketosis you're in or how many ketones your body is producing, but it will let you know once you've hit it. There are other methods out there. There are breathalyzers that read your ketone levels through your breath. There are blood ones as well. They're like little test strips, but these are relatively cheap. You can usually get them off Amazon or your local drugstore for like $10. Where you have to kind of be careful with this is these are the extra ketones that are in your body. So if you drink a lot of BHB or have a lot of ketone supplements in there, that may give you an indication that's a little bit higher because your body can't utilize all of it. So it's going to pee some of it out. So these are the wasted ketones, not necessarily the ketones that are in your body. Now, I did say that I, obviously lost a lot of weight doing this. And a lot of this has to come down to calories in and calories out. Any diet is going to basically be effective by burning more calories every day than you consume every day. It's kind of simple math. If you consume less calories than you burn, your body will then need to find those calories somewhere else and utilizing it in fat stores. I have found personally that my body is able to utilize body fat a little bit more efficiently by utilizing the keto diet with it as well. The other reason why I stick with the keto diet is because it allows me to eat foods that I actually like. Don't get me wrong, I love carbs and stuff like that. I love bread. So that part is difficult. And you can make versions of bread with the keto diet, and there are so many recipes out there. But for me, I really do like meat and dark green vegetables. I love broccoli, Brussels sprouts, asparagus, stuff like that, steaks, pork, smoked meat, pulled pork, all that stuff. It's stuff that I do very much like. You can have some fruit on this diet. It is very limited, and it's usually things like berries. You can have a very small amount of sugar, but once again, kind of keep your carbohydrate levels really low. You also very much need to read labels to understand how much carbs are in there. There are ways to measure the amount of carbohydrates. One thing that people like to look at is your net carbs, which is your total carbs minus the amount of fiber, because fiber is non-digestible. So it leaves your body. Another thing that you need to remember when you're on a keto diet is water. You need to drink a lot of water. I would recommend at least 3 liters a day. Now, it seems like a lot to some people, but remember that when you have a normal diet with carbohydrates, you tend to retain water a lot more. When you're on a keto diet, you will notice that within the first week, you are going to drop a lot of weight very quickly. And a lot of that is going to be water. For example, I went back on my keto diet as of January 1st. It is now filming this on the evening of January 4th. And in that time, I have lost 10 pounds. And almost all of that has been water weight. Feels great to look at the scale and see that, but understand that you are going to see a bit of a decline in that weight loss. That is, losing 10 pounds over 4 days is not sustainable. It's not something that's going to continue to happen, but that is what it is. So going back to my previous point of calories in versus calories out, you need to remember that because going to the gym or having a level of fitness is also a part of this diet. It is much a lifestyle change as well. So you do need to pair this with working out. Just eating this and then eating a ton of calories and not having a calorie deficit doesn't mean you're necessarily going to lose weight. So just keep that in mind. Some of the biggest benefits that I've found with the keto diet is I have a lot more mental clarity. I get a lot less brain fog throughout the day. I have a more consistent energy band. I find when I eat carbs and sugars, it definitely, kind of does this all the time. I'm able to wake up a little bit easier in the morning. I'm able to fall asleep a little bit easier at night, and I generally have more energy. A couple of things that I found as drawbacks with it when it comes to that sector is when I was working out, I couldn't work out for as long. I couldn't have these really, really intense heavy lifting workouts, and I found that they wouldn't last as long, that my body, I guess, needed those carbohydrates to have that sustained lifting. Now, when it came to endurance stuff, I did find that being on a keto diet was a little bit beneficial. Obviously, this is all anecdotal. I haven't done any real science on this, but these are reports that you will see when researching the keto diet as well. Things like the rowing machine or bikes, I could go longer when deep into ketosis as opposed to when I wasn't doing a keto diet. Now, one thing that has helped me an absolute ton is this guy right here is my phone. There is an app that I absolutely love, and it is called Carb Manager. Now, Carb Manager does have a couple of different levels on it. I would highly, highly recommend getting it. It has a massive, massive food library on it, supplements library, a lot of things. I believe for the year, it's like $39. There's a free version in it for sure. This is not sponsored by them. It is just an app that I've used I think almost since they came out, because this app has gone through a lot of changes, but at its current iteration, some of the features that I really, really like with Carb Manager is just being able to turn on the microphone and say, hey, I took, 2 scoops of this MCT powder or something along those lines, and it just logs it for the day. It has meal reminders, it has water reminders. It can sync up if you've got a Fitbit or a Google, Google Health or anything like that. It'll sync up to track all your caloric usage, so that way you can track your calories. You can put goals in it. Overall, it is a fantastic weight management tool. Even if you're not on a keto diet, would highly, highly recommend it. So overall, this is definitely a quick look at the keto diet. I can say that I did go from 265 pounds down to 185 pounds utilizing the keto diet, but also going to the gym, working out, being mindful of what I'm eating. It was not an easy thing. It did take well over a year to make that happen, and it was a lot of work, but being in ketosis definitely gave me the energy and motivation I needed to go to the gym and do that extra bit of work. I very much enjoy the keto diet. There are definitely differing opinions on this, and I'm sure in the comment section there's going to be a lot of people upset that I'm even referring to it. If you have any medical conditions, you should consult your doctor before going on this. Once again, I'm not a doctor, not a nutritionist, not a whatever. But this is something that has worked for me over the years and something that I'm going to continue to do. So make sure to subscribe because I'm going to be doing updates about kind of my weight loss journey, and I will let you know how that is all going. But as of right now, I am down to, I believe it is 208 pounds. I was at 218 pounds January 1st. And I'm very much looking forward to getting back down to 185 again. So if you have anything you want me to cover in specific, whether it be recipes, reviewing different products, anything like that, leave a comment down below. If you are going to start a keto journey, let me know. I believe in Carb Manager, there is a way to kind of create groups and things like that as well. So maybe I'll start one of those. If you want me to start a group so we can track each other's progress, let me know down in the comments. Thank you again, guys, for watching. My name is Jacob. I'm trying to make 365 videos on 365 days. So leave a comment with things you want me to cover. Make sure to check out everything else I've done. We're going to be covering things like business, cameras, coffee, food, dieting, basically everything that is a part of my life, weed, if that's what you're into, maybe even cigars. I don't know. We'll see. Thank you again, guys, for watching, and we will catch you tomorrow.